Made a video recently on Racecraft and given my thoughts on why it's not so great on iRacing at the moment. I received a lot of comments and feedback, and a common theme was to discuss what good Racecraft actually looks like, trying to set some parameters or guidelines for people to follow, so as people can either learn or have some idea of what to do to have both safer races and a more enjoyable experience. I've broken this sort of topic down into two videos that will hopefully help you all be both safer and more successful on track. This is the first video, and it will cover basic etiquette and an understanding of the general rules of engagement, which do differ significantly from license to license. I have a feeling that a good chunk of disagreements are from people transitioning from their main license, or the one they've watched the most on TV, to a different license, or a series that operates by a different rule set or convention to what they're used to watching on TV. Both parties feel that they're in the right, and based off the knowledge they have and the lens they're looking at the situation from, they are. But this is why it's valuable that you understand what the rules of engagement are. Without that, you have the potential to be in the wrong, and those incidents will keep repeating, and we don't want that. The second video will be how I approach a race and what I'm trying to achieve in a race, and how I try to limit the potential for any issues. We take what we know about the basic etiquette and expand this and use it in the context that other drivers may not be aware or willing to use that information. So I will cover my thought process, car positioning, when to fight, when to save, and just the whole process I use to get to the end safely and maximize my position, and I'll do this for each license class. So to kick this video off, it is purely related to the etiquette, or what is expected or accepted by the regulars in each license. If you're not conforming with these, this is why other drivers might be upset with you, or why you are upset with other drivers. I come from a road background in terms of that is what I grew up watching, both on TV and in real life, so it took me quite a bit to get my head around some of the different rules of engagement that the other licenses have. While I've learned a lot and achieved a decent level of competency in each license, I may still be wrong about some of these, but I'm hopeful that they might give you some ideas for when you dip your toes into other series, or possibly learn something about the series that you race most often. So the following applies to all licenses. Don't move in response to the move of the car behind you. Per the sporting code, this is what iRacing considers blocking and can be protested and result in a ban. You are free to defend so long as you move to defend before the car behind moves to attack. Don't move under braking. Similar to the above, but changing direction under braking or in the braking zone is a big no-no in any series. That's if you're the car in front. It's very, very likely that will result in an accident, so don't do it. Rejoin safely. If you have spun, and it will happen to everyone, including me, please keep an eye on your relative and only rejoin the track when it is safe to do so and in a place that is safe to do so. No turn 1 heroes. The checkered flag, contrary to popular belief, does not wave after turn 1. Aim to get through turn 1 safely, not trying to complete a last to first challenge. You often have a lot longer time than you think in a race, so take your time. Drive within your limits. So if you go past your limits and comfort zone, it'll end in tears. Other cars are allowed to be faster, and sometimes this means letting others pass. Your aim is to get to the end of the race as fast as possible. Often, this means driving your race rather than holding yourself up by fighting and trying to keep others behind you. Moving on to sports car and formula. No contact. This is a no contact series. At all times, you should be avoiding it wherever possible. There are some series, notably lower-powered touring car types like the 86, the Clio, TCR, where a little rubbing may happen, both on sim and in real life, but where possible, this should be avoided. Establish overlap before the braking zone. If attempting a pass, overlap should be established before you get to the braking zone. Diving from further back than this would be considered a dive bomb and is highly likely to result in contact. Following on from this, passes are set up or made on corner exit, not entry. Fernando says, always leave the space. You should always allow room for each other. If you're passing, allow room for the car that you are passing on exit, and if you're being passed, allow room for the other car to be alongside you for the duration of the corner, or until one of you is clear of the other. When being lapped, hold your line. Be predictable. The faster car should find a way around. Often it's best to give a small lift on the straight to enable the pass rather than going side by side through the corner and slowing you both down more. Or oval, hold your line. If you are 2 or 3 wide, then you need to hold the line you are running. You can't drift up or down into the other car just because that's the racing line. You've picked your portion of the track just as they have picked theirs. Stick to it. Rubbin's racing. Some contact can happen, but beware that if you do use a bumper or a side-by-side nudge to get by someone, there seems to be a better than good chance that they will full throttle you at the next corner. Despite this sort of pass via contact being very common in real life, in sim it seems to create meltdowns 95% of the time. Don't push the pusher or push in the turns. On super speedways, there will sometimes be bump drafting, where a car will push the car in front of it so as they can go quicker. If the third car in line pushes the pusher, this normally leads to disaster, so don't be that guy. At a very high level of competency, I think you can bump draft in the turns, but for most of us, it's best to stick doing it on the straights only, and when we're 100% in line with the car in front. Last one there is to start or restart appropriately. Don't be bumping the car in front before the green, and don't hang back too far to try and get a run. Stay in line a couple of car lengths back and go when it is time to do so. In dirt road, contact is a thing when passing. Side-by-side contact is normal and accepted, but not full throttle into the side of someone. Both the trucks and rallycross cars have had their physics improved to encourage and allow a bit of side-by-side racing. Watch out for the joker, and by this, I mean if you are exiting the joker, or someone is exiting the joker next to you, just keep an eye on the relative and give each other room. Turn 1 is highly dangerous on dirt road. The cars are much closer together than other series at the start, so more caution and awareness is required. And know when to joker isn't a reference to the strategy of when to take your joker, it's knowing when you're allowed to take the joker. You can't take it until you have passed the finish line once. So some tracks you can joker on lap 1, like at Phoenix, and some tracks you can't, like Sonoma or Daytona. So be aware of the rules so as you don't cause any pile-ups through taking it at incorrect times. Last license, Dirt Oval. Again, a no contact series or license. These cars can get damaged easily, and you should not need to make contact to make a pass. Similar to Oval, restart appropriately. Don't bump the car in front and don't hang back to get a run. stay in line, couple of car lengths back. Don't be doing big burnouts and drifts everywhere, which a lot of people seem highly inclined to do. Just treat each other with respect and just do it properly. Throwing clean sliders. If someone gets fully in front of you with a slider, either cut down inside them or lift if you're holding that line, if there's no room to go under them. When throwing a slider, only do so if you are sure you can clear the car in front of you completely. Otherwise, don't do it. When being lapped, hold your line that you have been running. Keep an eye on the relative, and if the fast guys are catching you, just hold your line, they will find a way around. What makes it difficult is when you change your line to try and get them past you, and they possibly have committed to that line to try and pass you. Those are the basic points that I think you need to know and be aware of. I'm by no means perfect, so I've likely missed some key points. I welcome your input in the comments section to both educate me and others watching this video. My video on how I approach my own racecraft will follow at some point in the next couple of weeks, so stay tuned. As always, the mission here is to try to get people to drive safer, drive better, and get more enjoyment out of the sim, regardless of the title you're playing. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.